Hey everyone, so I just wanted to tell you guys regarding my court case. In short, I was found guilty. Yep, found guilty of eavesdropping by a jury of my peers. Real jury, real people. At this point, I wanted to talk about the court process, but at this point I'm literally afraid, I'll be honest with you. That is how the people there made me feel regarding the details of what happened. All I would say is that I didn't get a fair trial. Everybody in the courtroom, everyone was working to convict me. That's the honest truth. There was very little justice in there. But here's what I didn't fully understand. I did have a jury, real jury of people. And this jury convicted me of recording a phone call that I used to exonerate myself of government accusations that were false. What these people didn't understand is that they voted against their freedom. They said they didn't understand that any one of them could have been in my place. Literally, they took a law, interpreted it, and by the way, you know, the actual law that I supposedly violated, the whole text of the law was not even given to the jurors. It was redacted. So if you're on trial in America for a crime, the jury gets a redacted copy of the statute under which you're prosecuted. And the important things that could exonerate you will be taken out of it in the jury instructions. And that's just one of the things that happened here. There was a million more. But basically, these people follow any law that you almost put in front of them without considering the morality or fairness of the law, which is exactly what happened in Nazi Germany. They execute laws, they uphold laws, they don't care whether the law is right or wrong, which is the most important thing. You can't have a bunch of people following orders or laws that they think are wrong, but they don't have a mechanism to think whether the law is right or wrong. I don't know where it is, but it's not there. So they gave me a criminal record, a person that has never been arrested, never had a criminal record before, now have a criminal record of a misdemeanor. Thankfully, and I have to say that's a place where the judge was nice to me, and thank you, was that I didn't get any jail time and I only got probation, which the terms were, you know, for me not to violate any laws, you know. And I can do that because I don't violate laws. Anyway, this cemented my decision to move to Russia, which I will do shortly because I just have a few things to wrap up here. But that's basically it in a nutshell. I mean, so the laws of America or in California are that the government and the police can record you at any time without any notice, surreptitiously, secretly, doesn't matter. But you can't record them without telling them you're recording them. You can't record a phone call. You can't record an audio conversation. You can't record anything in court. And the jury of my peers thought that this was a good thing and a fair thing. They just took away their own right to record a government official, to make sure a government official is doing something right. I could never, I thought, I mean, you know, throughout this whole process, which took literally 6 months, this happened in April and I've been going to court God knows how many times. At first I thought, all right, they arrested me, they're not gonna charge me. Then they charged me. Then I thought, okay, they're not gonna take this to jury trial. And then they did. And then I thought, well, there's no way a jury is gonna convict me. And then the jury convicted me. So let me just put it that way. I have a very poor understanding of people in California or whatever, in America in general. And I can't predict what they're gonna do because they do the things that I don't think they would do. See, that jury, basically, one, they didn't consider the fact that they are taking away their own rights in what they ruled. They didn't consider the fairness of the situation at all, that I played the recording only to the police. That didn't concern them. All they did is they went strictly by the law, and the law said that if the conversation is confidential, nobody can record it. Firstly, the conversation was not confidential because it was one of those conversations where, you know, like if you call, you know, a company like customer support and you hear, you know, this call is being recorded for quality assurance purposes. You don't just hang up the phone, you just go on because you know that it's only recorded if there is some kind of a, you know, extraordinary situation. Like if you're in trouble for something, you know, that's when it will be used, or if there is some wrong, you know, you understand that even though it's not 100% confidential, it's being recorded, but it's not going to be broadcast on CNN or put online, which is exactly what it was here. Furthermore, the city itself records phone calls. I'm 100% sure about it. Because, firstly, I contacted several other cities that record phone calls nearby. And also, that city provided zero official documentation or witness testimony saying they don't record phone calls. Nobody from the IT department, nobody from, you know, who runs their phones came to court and said, I hereby certify that the city doesn't record calls. Nothing happened, no paper was provided, so it's clearly they record them, but they lied, of course, and said that they didn't, because lying for them is second nature. It was a scary experience, very scary. And again, I am not that type of person who is on some kind of a crusade against the government, nor do I want to be. I understand that it's risky and I'm not going to do it. All I want to do is just maybe tell what happened to me, that's all. I mean, I have a right to do that, right? I mean, Solzhenitsyn in Russia wrote about the prisons of the Soviet Union, you know? So, people have a right to know what happened to someone like them. And I got lucky from one point. I got lucky that I had a recording, because otherwise it would have been worse. I could have been charged with threats, which is a very common thing in San Bernardino County. I've heard tons and tons of stories about people charged. I think there was a story about even an assistant DA being arrested for threatening the chief DA in Barstow. And obviously there was no recording, because I think they claimed she threatened her in an elevator. Thankfully here it was over the phone and I had the recording. They were pissed that they couldn't, you know, put me away for threats. Yeah, so thankfully it's all over now. I was very, very, you know, nervous and stressed out, as you can imagine, but it's over now. I'm just working on wrapping my things up, then I'm gonna go travel. And I do understand that I have to be careful when I travel. I mean, the world is such a dangerous place, you know, even when you're not trying to do anything, there's people constantly trying to get you or frame you, and most of them are the cops, you know, and people connected to them. That's the unfortunate truth. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.